sanded back, following Graham's amazingness. There we go, in creating. And Graham's made this frame for me as well. I've sorted the structurally sound parts out, and also he's also cut a bigger circle out there so we can hopefully get the gubbins in there. That's what we've been doing today, isn't that right, Graham? Yes, it is indeed. So there we go, last pillar. Also Graham's put all the slats on there. We have actually made them slightly shorter at the top because they're going to be cut anyway, so that's sort of come down by a little bit, so it kind of gauges pretty much where we're going to go to, but it'll all work out on the day. And yeah, there we go. So we're all going to go home and enjoy the sunshine now. I'm going to show you a bit of news, bit of update on the console build. That's why I'm here. So I'm just going to turn myself around. Hang on a minute. Here we go. So this is what we're working on at the moment. Today we will be finishing off this, which is obviously the main monitors for all three of the panels that have monitors. They actually have like an inner shell on here, which is basically mainly plywood. This is 18mm thick plywood because actually when we get the screens in, we can actually just fix them directly to the back, which Daryl has made. And when they are fixed to the 18mm thick plywood, they should protrude just about exactly as we need them. So how have I done this? I've essentially glued and fixed all the panels together, and they've all been nailed and glued behind this, and I'm facing it up now with this 2mm MDF, really just where it needs it. The back is 5.5mm ply, so that's nice and smooth. That's not a problem at all. You might just be able to see here that I've got a bit of an overlap around here, and this will all be sanded back eventually, and will eventually look like this. So I've sanded it all back and I've put some edges on. The edges need to be a little bit more rounded, I think, just to try and achieve the perfect replication. A lot of the roundovers on the actual prop were very inconsistent, I noticed when I went over to look at the Ranis TARDIS console panels. And obviously they were pulled from a mould, but the original mould, I would imagine back in the day, they wouldn't have had access to things like CNC machines back in the day. I think they probably existed, but they would have been very, very expensive and not something the BBC probably had access to. So a lot of this stuff would have been made as I'm making it now, overlaying various bits of timber and sheet materials and products, and then sanding it all back and then making a mould. So I'm trying to achieve that kind of bespoke look, which again, the imperfections gives it the character to replicate the original. That's what we're aiming for anyway. Hopefully we'll succeed. And like I say, this is actually one which doesn't have the monitor, so it's trying to stay true to the Five Doctors console, out and obviously through the years, in fact. That this particular panel never actually had an awful lot going on in it. As you can see, there are no cutouts, there are no LED lights at the moment going in this one because effectively it never had any. It was hardly ever seen on screen. I think Attack of the Cybermen, occasional other shots from other angles, but apart from that, never used during the filming. So yeah, I shall carry on, sand back the other two, and then I will be working on the top part and getting these slats and the curved piece that houses itself around the centre column. See you soon. Bye.